This video is going to focus on capos, the different types and the uses of them, and one lick. I'm going to show you one lick, so if you can stay with me just long enough for that, we'll get right into this thing right away. Hold on. Capos. What kind, you ask? All kinds. There's probably capos there that a lot of you younger guys have never seen before. This is just like an elastic. Those are very old, very, very old. This one is very old. Still works. Now, we get into the better stuff. This is very old. I would toss that. Every one of those capos that you see so far, I would toss out the window and never use. And I wouldn't recommend you use them. I'll tell you why in a minute. This capo, I see a lot of people using those. I think they're made by Kaiser. I don't remember, but anyway, it's spring loaded. It's got a spring in the back of it. It's pretty well padded. It's got good protection, but you can't adjust the amount of pressure it puts down on your strings. There's no adjustment there. The spring does all the work, so I would put that in that pile. Which brings us to these two. And I'm going to demonstrate some of this stuff, and I'm going to explain why. So hang in there. Both of these are adjustable. Both of them are page. This is a page click capo. It has a button here. You can immediately release it, take it off very fast. It's called a page click if you're interested in it. And this is just a page capo. That's all I can tell you. It's actually my favorite one. The one I have, well, two of about all these newer ones. These two, anyway. But anyways, I like that one best of all. I use it mostly. But you see, both of these, you can adjust how much tension is put on your strings. Now, hang on. I'm going to reset the camera and put it back on the tripod and explain some things to you. Now, as I already told you, this capo I would toss. I wouldn't buy one of those. I wouldn't recommend one, simply because you cannot adjust the spring tension on it. Now, it's not as this problem is not as bad on guitars, but a lot of people use these on banjos. This thing is squashing those strings down in behind that fret. I mean, it's enough to sharpen the pitch, you know, make it out of tune. I guarantee you, if you use one of these, you're going to tune quite a lot when you put it on, especially a banjo or something with lighter strings, or even guitars with lighter strings. Of course, you want to get it up as close to the fret as you possibly can. Even right over top of the fret is a good place. That avoids some of that over pressure, you know, knocking it out of tune and stuff. But with a capo like that, you just cannot adjust it. So, you know, and I've seen people, hang on a minute. I have seen folks clip them to the top of their guitar when they're not using them like that. You know, that's, you're killing the sound. You're really muting your guitar doing that. And I know that sounds funny, but you see a lot of guitar players with their capo up here above the nut when they're not using it. Well, you know, let me give you some advice there too. Have fresh strings on, good strings. Play your guitar a while with your capo up above the nut, not in use. And with those good strings on, take that capo off and just listen to the sound of your guitar, how much better it gets. The tones are much deeper. I mean, you know, it wasn't designed to have this hanging up here or a capo behind the nut up here resting. All of this has to vibrate properly to get the most out of the guitar. It's to its full potential. I learned this from Tony Rice. If you'll notice, he never has a capo above the nut, or a tuner, or a capo, you know, hooked on up here on the peg head. Because of that, because it really mutes your instrument. I mean, just try it. Take it off and listen to your instrument with, you know, decent strings on it, new ones preferably. Okay, let's talk about my favorite capo now. Like I say, it's just an adjustable page. It's got a screw in it. It doesn't take all that much longer to put on than the squeeze-on kind, you know what I mean? And I can adjust how much tension goes down on those strings with that screw. So I'm not squashing the strings down behind the fret, sharpening them and making the guitar go out of tune and having to retune every time I put a capo on, which is exactly what happens when you use that. I don't care if it's a banjo or a guitar or what, if the strings are light enough and this spring overpowers, then you're going to have to tune a lot when you put that on. So I would recommend any capo with a screw in it, or that you can adjust the amount of tension down on the spring, on the strings. Another bit of advice I might offer you is, I already mentioned this, but put that capo right over the fret if you can. Right over top of the fret. I mean, you know, not just up close to it, but you can see there, it's just right on it practically. And that'll give you your best intonation, and everything will be, you know, it won't be squashed down in there and causing you to have to retune so much. These other capos, the Page Click, yeah, let me back this off. They are dandy capos. I just like the one that's on the guitar now better because, I don't know, I just like it better. It seems to have more protection here. This thing is softer. I don't know, I just like it better. It's smaller too. I hope that helps you with capos and gives you some direction of maybe how to use them and how not to use them, and which ones to purchase and which ones not to. So hope that helps. Hold on. There's a lot of variations to that lick. That's the lick I'm going to show you. So I'll get the camera honed in here on the left hand, and I'll show you that. Okay, so the lick starts on the, there's a lot of different ways that you can start this. I start it several different ways. Sometimes I'll do a triplet. That's just playing 3, 2, and 1. And I've got 1 and 2 barred at the 3rd fret. I'm sliding with my pinky on the 1st string from the 6th to 7th fret. Let me just do the lick for you slow. Slower. And now we'll tear it apart. Like I say, there's different ways you can start that. You can go right into it. Or you can bend, slide like depending on how you want to start it, the lick goes. It starts, I guess it actually starts on the first string of the 6th fret. And you're coming back here to the 3rd fret. Same thing with the 2nd string, 6th fret, and then 3rd fret. So I just bar these two on the 3rd fret. The next part is the 1st string, 2nd string, 2nd string. Now you're going to note the 3rd string here on the 5th fret and keep the 2nd string down on the 6th fret. So we have do that slower if I can. At this point you want to bar the 2nd and 3rd strings at the 3rd fret. And that's just, you actually bar these two, the 3rd and 4th on the 5th fret. So let me just break that up a little bit better. Tune and strings is dead and everything, but anyway, again I'll make mention this is for the intermediate to advanced people, pickers, beginners. I wouldn't recommend you tackle this because it's advanced. So there's you some information on capos or capos or capes, depending on where you live, I guess. Hopefully some info that will help you to choose the right capo and know the ones to stay away from. I hope that helps, and I hope someone can use the lick in something. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers, man. You really are catching up. We do appreciate it very much. Thanks again for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers and to the old ones. I really appreciate you guys a bunch. Thanks. Cheers.